Welcome back, everyone. It's another game of Dominion, and today we're introducing the final card from Intrigue with a returning guest.
It's me, the lovely Jivjov.
Alright, so this is the Grand Scheme Kingdom, and most of these cards should be familiar, but we've got one new one in Bridge. This one gives you a buy and a coin, which is nothing new, but once you've played it, every card, everywhere, costs one coin less, unless it already costs 0 coins, in which case the cost doesn't change. It's got a couple of interesting impacts on the game. Mainly, obviously, the ability to buy cards with less money than you would normally require. Although I've heard a lot of people, especially in the physical game, will count and say, I've got 5 coins and everything costs 1 less, so I can buy something that costs up to 6. I think that's a bad idea. Because especially with the plus buy, you could buy, say, a card that costs 3 and a card that costs 4. With the bridge in play, it costs 2 and 3, so you can get 7 coins worth of cards for your 5. But there are a couple of other things that it affects during your actual turn. Now, in this kingdom, we've got both Workshop and Artisan, which gain cards that cost up to a specific cost. So, Artisan, for example, you can gain something costing up to 5 coins. If everything costs less than face value, you can potentially get, say, a gold if it only costs 5 at that point. Get 3 bridges in play, and you can Artisan gain provinces. It also interacts with cards like Remodel. You wouldn't expect it to have any impact because the card you're remodeling costs 2 less, and the card you're gaining costs 2 less, but because you can't reduce the cost of something like copper. If you played a bridge and then you played a remodel, you could trash a copper, which costs 0, and remodel it into a silver, which now costs only 2. It also can play havoc with stuff like the Swindler. Get 3 bridges in play and you can swindle your opponent's silver into a copper or a curse. But in this game, we've only got the Workshop Artisan type cards. So, any final thoughts on strategy or anything before we launch into it?
I spent that entire explanation trying to come up with a good Donald X has a bridge to sell you joke, and I just couldn't quite make it come together.
Yeah, cost reduction is probably one of my favorite things in the game. It's really situational, but there are so few cards that do it, and a lot of them have really weird effects.
I'm just
Bridge
glad
is
we're
nice.
playing... Oh, sorry.
Well, I said Bridge is nice because it's one of the few that interacts well with Throne Room. Because if you Throne Room or Bridge, you actually reduce the cost of everything by 2. Whereas something like, while this is in play, all cards cost 1 less. You can't Throne Room that because you'll only get 1 card's worth of effect.
I'm just glad we're playing this digitally because all the cost reduction just gets handled by the computer.
Yeah, it actually changes the numbers on the cards as you play bridges. Alright, let's get into it, I suppose.
Okie dokie. I'm always starting with my lovely village type cards. I promise I'm not the village idiot.
Well, I've got a couple of options. Do I want to hurt you more, or do I want to... yeah, let's start with the militia.
This is going to be another one of those games, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I could have gone militia, or I could have gone mill. And again, Workshop or Silver. We'll get the Silver just in case they happen to collide.
And I'll go ahead and crack that mill pile. Mill is just a really good card.
Well, they didn't collide.
It's always a shame. Hate it when a plan doesn't come together.
Yeah, it depends on what the plan is.
True
I
enough.
don't think I'm going to be too upset here.
we start this again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've always got to be prepared for whatever attacks may come your way.
Especially in a game with
like
no
this.
moat.
Yeah. So you kind of got to plan around usually having 3 cards to start with. So I got a big pile of money. Is gold going to do me any good, or do I just want the artisan? Let's take the artisan.
I love it when the draw off a mill is something that I want to discard. I'm going to follow your lead on that artisan.
I do want to get mills as soon as I can. But I think market is just going to be too good here.
Yeah, market is solid. The potpourri card, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, there is also council room for plus buy, but I figure I'll get to that at some point. I'm not sure how good having a big draw deck is going to be here. Well, it didn't work as well as I wanted it to. I'd better get on the mills before you get all of them.
I mean, I'll take them all. If you don't want them, it's fine. Get that market, and unfortunately that only leaves you with enough to buy another mill.
Do I want to market, or is it time to start getting into patrols?
Way back when I was kind of new at this, it was a big eureka moment for me that with Artisan I didn't have to top deck that which I just gained. That's often a really good move.
Very true.
But, because spoiler alert, I totally top decked that market.
Yeah, it makes sense to do that. I should know everything that's going to be in my next hand.
And we'll just finish off that mill pile.
Alright, let's finally get into some bridges. And something else with actions.
Snag another market, and spoiler alert, top decking it. And that's a good call on things with actions. I'll also grab a shantytown. I don't mind the art style that's on like Shantytown and Pearl Diver. My only complaint is that it just kind of clashes with everything else.
Yeah, there is that. I think Harem has something similar.
Yeah. Although Harem's the one that's got one of Donald X's good friends as part of the art, which is neat.
Yep. Yeah, I forget whether it was one of the secret histories or an interview or something where he said that it was one of the cards he considered removing from the second edition of Intrigue, but couldn't because of who was depicted on it.
Exactly.
Same with both Pearl Diver and Navigator. But we'll get to those. Possibly next video, possibly a later one.
Yeah. Oh, how I do love chaining a bunch of actions together.
Play a village, draw a village. Ah, well, there's that. Let me go ahead and hang on to both of them, because it didn't really make a whole lot of difference.
Woof. What a turn.
Yeah, the question is what to do with it. And the big question is, do I need another mining village? I think I probably do. I don't know if I want to get another bridge at this point, though. Mining village patrol.
Well, that was a shame. Didn't get anything useful with those bonus cards off Shantytown.
Alas, although
Such is
Mill
life.
Shantytown can be a nice combination if you've got actions you don't necessarily need to play, you can potentially discard them for coins, and then your Shantytown will draw something better.
Exactly.
Alright, let's see what I can do with this.
Buy a couple of estates.
Well, I could buy a state duchy if it came to that.
You could. It's a little late, but I think I'm also going to get in on that militia game.
Mm-hmm.
I've got enough plus action that would be fine to end off a turn with.
Yeah. I want to make sure I've got enough villages for the next run through my deck.
You ever just sometimes get a complete dud of a hand?
Pretty much once a game.
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't terrible. It just wasn't nearly as fun as I hoped it would be. And I guess I ended up with enough money to pick up another something good. Probably another mining village.
Yep. The piles are starting to get low-ish, and this is garbage.
Hey, sometimes the garbage just has to do.
Yep. Well, I definitely want to get one of those out there. But what do I do with it? It's kind of the moment when I have to ask, am I even going to be getting through my deck another time?
Yeah, this is a very fast board. Oh, the troubles of what to discard for the coins. You know what? This is going to be wacky.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Okie dokie.
It's about what I thought would happen. But this time I can actually, well, maybe do something productive. Yeah, let me grab a patrol. Because I know I have villages in my deck somewhere. They must exist.
That's what the villagers want you to think. It's all a conspiracy, man.
Yeah, well, I don't really like the idea of just buying a duchy, but I think I kind of have to just to stay on top of things. Yeah, the downside of not having gotten a lot of mills early on, because they work nicely with patrol, if you've actually got the villages for them.
Those little one draws, all of those actions I chained after that first mill was stuff that I was drawing from the card draws, so that was lucky.
Nice.
Unfortunately, not quite enough to crack a province. Needed a bridge and didn't get one.
Yeah, that or a mining village.
True.
Nice. Very nice.
I think the
So
biggest thing that slows this board down is the fact that the only trashing is mining village and it only trashes itself.
Quite true.
Because I would have loved to shed some of these coppers, but oh well, what can you do?
Yep, well, comes out a bit sad in the end. Especially if I end up having to shuffle right now. Just for the chance of getting something more, I don't think I'm gonna do that.
Oof, ouch, my lead.
Yeah. I don't think I want another estate. Let me actually get something that's potentially useful for the next go-around. Now that I've clogged up my deck with all these victory cards.
Yeah, I'm starting to draw all those duchies I've been buying.
And the issue is, we're not nearly in a position where I could likely win outright. So, pad the lead a little, or buy something just in case it does come around again.
Well, that hand all came down to luck for me and just wasn't with me.
now we're starting to get into range of where potentially one could end the game. I don't see it happening anytime soon, but okay, deck. I hate you.
Ooh, a poor craftsman blames his tools. You built that deck.
I did, but it shuffled itself into this configuration.
Yeah, this is the Hail Mary here. And after that shuffle, I'm having the same problems.
Well, the victory cards I didn't much care about. It was the fact that both of the patrols in my deck were also in that hand.
Oof.
And judging by what I've got now, playing either one of them would have been a terrible idea. Well, not doing a whole lot of good for me, but yeah, see, I'm one coin short of just outright winning the game. Yeah, one more coin, I could have bought the last duchy and the last bridge.
Yeah, unless some magic happens here, which I don't think it will, but hey, I'll give it a try.
Yep. Yeah, I need one more coin. Actually, no, I've got the win in hand. Because I can just trash a mining village for money.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do here, so I'll just go ahead and end my own suffering.
Fair enough.
Everything was starting to come together there, but you just got everything in working order a turn or two before I did.
Yeah, I mean, the early mining village I don't think was a good buy. Yeah, I
No.
used to think making a run on villages early was good, but there wasn't a lot of competition for them, so it was never a problem to buy one when I needed it.
Yeah, mining village in particular is a risky move, and I didn't think that one through, so that one's on me.
And not getting hit by a militia was really good, although I don't think there were a lot of hands I had where losing 2 cards would have hurt me all that much.
Yeah, that was the one upside to all of the victory cards I had floating around, was a lot of the times I was only losing maybe one good thing.
Well, then again, you've got 6 mills.
True.
So, even hand size is going to be vital there. You got a whole lot of bridges, probably more than you could reasonably play since you never got a draw card.
Yeah.
The best draw you've got is Shantytown, and at that point you have to be completely out of actions. Granted, my patrols didn't do me a whole lot of good, but at least I had them.
Yeah. That's always my
about
weakness in Dominion, is I get a little unfocused.
Yeah, like I said, the deck wasn't the particular kingdom wasn't great for draw because you can't get rid of the silvers and the estates, but at least the patrols help you draw around the estates a bit. And, Council Room Militia is always a good combo. It just really didn't make sense to me here, since I was having so much trouble getting to my militia. Most of the time I was using the artisan to gain something like a market, and then putting the militia back on top, so that I could both attack you and get something out of it.
Multi-purpose. That was my failing, was being too unfocused, and the things I did focus on were only good for one thing.
Yeah, not always crippling, but
I was really reliant on the right cards colliding on draws, and it just wasn't happening for me.
yeah. Again, that's why I stuck with just the 3 bridges. If I ever do draw through my deck, then I can get cheap provinces and potentially gain a province with an artisan, but I'm not sure that this kingdom was very suited for being able to play a lot of actions reliably. That was just kind of a nice thing when it happened. But it was a good game. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see everybody next time.
Bye-bye.